Hi BookTube, and happy Saturday, happy National Bookstore Day. I am out walking my dog Fable here on the field. This is a beautiful day, so I want to get some outside footage before I take you inside to all the bookstores I am going to be shopping at. And I have my bookish t-shirt, I read past my bedtime, perfect for today. And yeah, let's see what I find. Store number 1. Bookstore number 2.
Small town you live. You know where I live? Yeah. Yeah, just cash and I'll get some cash. Okay. What?
Bookstore number 3.
I don't legit read it like this. I know. I do this. Here's what I want.
Now for the fun part where I show you all the books I have gathered. I have quite the pile. 3 of the bookstores I went to were library adjacent bookstores. So they weren't in the actual libraries of the different towns, but they're their own store. And so I got quite the number of books for a really good deal. And then one bookstore I went to was a used bookstore, and I'll go through that as I make my way through the pile. So the first bookstore I went to was Booktique number 2, because there's 2 locations for that library system, and that was for Lake Oswego in Oregon. So the first book I got was one that I'm actually currently reading right now. Actually, let me show you the copy. I got this online 6 months, a year ago, I can't remember. I heard about it here on BookTube, and I wanted to get a copy, but my local stores didn't have it, or the ones where I could actually check online to see if they had it in stock, because a lot of bookstores don't have that. I didn't want to call around to all the ones that are around here. So anyway, long story short, I got this online, I think Amazon or eBay, and I never do that. Like it's like once a year I'll get a book online, something like that. So this one, it specifically said this was not a library edition. However, when I got it, I don't know if you pick it up here, but yeah, it's a discarded library edition, and it is been through the ringer. It's all like this dust jacket is falling apart, and the inside is like there's stains, and the binding is okay, but that's about all I can say about this copy. But I'm making my way through it, about, I don't know, a third of the way in. So I saw this at the first store I went to. I was like, okay, this is such a better condition. This is what I would have wanted if I had purchased it online. You know, nice, clean copy with no fingerprint orange Cheeto, or like Dorito dusty pages, things stuck in there, because an old library edition that who knows how many people read that book. This one is in perfect condition. So I got this one, and this is None Died in Vain by Robert Leckie, the saga of the American Civil War. And I just love this, the dust jacket here. And I'm enjoying my read through. I've read multiple books on the Civil War, and this is, going from, it's the nuts and bolts, the beginning to end, the Civil War. But because it contains so much information, it's not giving you great detail of any one thing, because you can't do that in a single volume. But for it being a single volume, I think it's been a fantastic read so far. Okay, and so then I found a bunch of mass market paperbacks. So several of these were $1 each. And so I got a Mary Stewart book. This is Thornhold. I wanted to read Mary Stewart for quite a while. I heard about her here on BookTube, and in elementary school, middle school, I read so many Gothic suspense novels, and I feel like she's in the same vein with like The House, you know, and there's like, you know, a woman every typically are following. So I think it's the same thing here. Yeah, modern romance and ancient enchantment, a legacy of love that would not die. So yeah, so, something like that. So I feel like she's an author I will get along with. And then they were giving away bookmarks because there was an author there doing a signing, a local Portland author. And I thought it was very cool for a library bookstore to be doing that. But the author is Casey Carpenter, and it's Do Not Die Today. And it says, use caution, the desert can be deadly. And so he was there doing a signing and selling his books, and the back of it says, what happens when a trip to Joshua Tree turns into a fight for survival? So it looked like a fun book. I didn't purchase it because I knew I was going to all these stores, and I wasn't 100% sure if I wanted to read it, but it looked fun enough. So I have this one, and then I got, speaking of BookTube, I've heard about these books. I'm not a big sci-fi or fantasy reader, but I do like it occasionally. So I've heard of The Many-Colored Land by Julian May a couple of times, but I've just never seen it. I don't gravitate towards that area too often, but in the library bookstore, it's not a huge sprawling store, so I'm able to like see everything, you know, and not be in there for hours. You know, I can still, you know, I can see everything in a shorter amount of time. But so I saw this, I was like, oh, this looks like something I had my eye on, and the cover is it's just really cool. I don't know, something about it. These old covers. When did this come out? Because I feel like they just don't make covers like they used to. Let's see here. This came out in 81, and this edition is from 83. But yeah, it looks kind of creepy with these skulls and things. But this is the first book in the saga of Pelosine Exile. And it says, a spellbinding tale woven of equal parts epic and myth with a liberal dash of hard science fiction. Wonderful. And this is a Del Rey book. And then I found book 2. I don't know if there is other books in the series. Now that I'm looking at it, this is really weird. Okay, so volume 1 has this on the front and then this on the back. And then volume 2 has this on the front and then this on the back. Okay. I've never seen a series do something like this. I've seen them, you know, where they'll continue on, you know, the look or something like this. Maybe not this way, but this way I've seen it. But this is bizarre. Okay. So this is book 2. This one's book 2. So I was like, for $1, I was like, might as well pick up 1 and 2, and if I don't want to continue on the series, I'm only out the $1. And then I found 2 of the Sweet Valley books that I'm slowly collecting. That word is going to play a huge part in this book haul because my boyfriend went along with me, and he grew up reading the R.L. Stine kind of like spooky books like Goosebumps and Fear Street and things like that. And so we found a plethora of those. So I'm putting those on my book haul as well because I grew up reading Fear Street. I didn't read Goosebumps, but I did watch the TV show as a kid. So for this whole like old school April event going on, like this is like perfect for that, and they're part of my collection too because I will read them. So anyway, going back to Sweet Valley, I have Sweet Valley number 143, Party Weekend, and the covers were older before they had. Let's see, actually I have one. Let me see. They look like this before, and so as the books went on, this is book number 4. And then as they went on through the series, at 143, they started changing to, because there was a TV show that came out based on Sweet Valley. And then I have Sweet Valley University Thriller Edition. He's Watching You, with this creepy cover, again with like the people on the cover. Yes, it's now a hit TV series. I didn't grow up watching the TV show. I've seen it on some streaming channel. I watched like the first episode, but I didn't go past that, but maybe I will once I get to, you know, later in the series. I'm not sure. But anyway, so there's that one. And then Christopher Pike, Master of Murder. He wrote about his own murder. And this is, I like the green. It's very 90s. I don't know if I've ever read Christopher Pike before. I might have as a kid. I don't think so, but it reminds me of like the R.L. Stein books. And so I got that one. Okay, so that was Bookstore number 1. And then, so that was Booktique number 2. And then I went to Booktique number 1. And let me see, I got these books here. I'm like, I have several piles going based on the store I went to. So continuing on with the throwback to your childhood books. There is a lot of these like horror, YA children's books. This cover looked so cool. It has a step back. And I didn't even look at these when we were picking them up. But for being an older book, I'm surprised that this open square isn't falling apart. It's just a little bit where it's peeling off, but that's so minor considering. So this is Nightmare Hall, Pretty Please by Diane Ho, and she looks like, you know, one of the Christopher Pike kind of stories. I've never read anything by this author. Again, at least I don't think I have. So, but it is like, you know, Fear Street, you know, high school kind of thing. So this looks like lots of fun. I wish like old school. I wish I found these at the beginning of Old School April, because then I would have read so many more of them through the month. But oh well. So we have Nightmare Hall, The Roommate by Diane Ho, and this one doesn't have the step back, but there's that one. Let's see, Sarah Jett, Night of the Pom. Beware cheerleaders bearing gifts. And this looked like so much fun. I have no idea what this is, but it's the teen sensation writer. So I want to see if there's anything about this author. If it's a teen writing it, is there any information about the author? Okay, she was born in Nebraska City, Nebraska in 1979. She lived in 5 different states. Let's see. Okay, so Night of the Pom is based on her younger sister's lively stories of her misadventures in 7th grade, as well as her own memories of that time. So it's kind of like a memoir yeah, so I guess she wrote this when she was a teenager, or I feel like when it's saying that, it's like based on her teenage experience. So it didn't say anything in the description about her being, you know, like 15 years old and publishing a book. But yeah, but this looks like a hoot. Okay. Then we have Nightmare in the Attic by T.S. Rue, A Night of Horror. Again, something just looks like lots of fun. It says, an overnight trip, screams in the night, scared to death. Nightmare in, if you check in, you may never check out. Okay, then we have The Fog by Carolyn B. Cooney. This is an author I have read before. It says, no one had told her the fog could kill. Sweet 16 by Francesca Jeffries. Fable's like smelling all the books here. It's a Sweet 16 and never been killed instead of kissed. Then we have a Goosebumps book. Number 34, Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes. Keep off the grass with the flamingos. And then another R.L. Stein book. This one I've never heard of before. The Nightmare Room. This is Nightmare Continues. This is a bind up of books 4, 5, and 6. I have no idea. I think you can probably read these out of order. But it's a Liar, Liar, Dear Diary, I'm Dead, and They Call Me Creature. Okay. And then I found a Western. This cover looks so cool. Great Tales of the West. It's the introduction by John Jakes, and the collection is compiled by Bill Pronzini and Martin H. Greenberg, and it has so many Western authors. This is perfect for Journal on the Range. There's Mark Twain, Owen Wister, O. Henry, Zane Grey, A.B. Guthrie Jr., Max Brand, Louis L'Amour. So many. But I was like, this bind up, like, it's a hardcover, so it'll last, you know, a long time and hold up. And then the other one I found was the Penguin Book of Vampire Stories. I saw this in the classics. I was like, after picking up all those like children horror books, I was like, this has to go on the pile. And this is edited by Alan Ryan. And I've read several of these stories. Like I've read Dracula, I've read Camilla. Let's see if there's any other ones I recognize on here. I don't recognize any of the other ones, but there's Dracula's Guest in here by Bram Stoker. Let's see if there's any other author I recognize. There's so many short stories and I don't know, not essays, but like selections from different novels and short stories as well. So this will be perfect for Horror Mayhem coming up in May, or I could read in October. I'm not sure yet. And so, okay, then the next bookstore I went to, let me grab those, was at the Oregon City Library bookstore. And what was the name of that one? Oh, I have a bookmark here. What was Friends of the Oregon City Public Library used bookstore? Oh my goodness, that's a mouthful. But I got a bookmark at that one. And so I got to 2 other Christopher Pike books. Like I said, there is for sure a theme going on here. Chain Letter. Do not forget this letter or you will suffer. And then we have Weekend. By Sunday, they were just trying to stay alive. A lot of these, like, you know, scholastic books. And then the other one I found, which I thought was pretty cool. Again, like, my boyfriend picked up these 2. And then I was looking around that area and I found a box set of the Apple paperbacks. And I love finding the old Apple paperbacks. I read so many of these as a kid. And so I was like, I have to get it. Like they also had a Babysitter's Club like book in the 30s, like 35 through 40 or something, an original box set. And I know I should have picked that up, but I'm not collecting that series. But okay, so I didn't actually open these books. There's one that's been like damaged because it's been, you know, shoved in the box. But I can tape that and fix it. But we have Christina's Ghost. What is the mystery the ghost wants her to solve? By Betty Wren Wright. We have a Ghost in the Window. Oh yeah, I should have opened these books. I took the books out because this was also damaged. But again, Betty Wren Wright. A Ghost in the Window. The Ghost Mobile by Kathy Kennedy Tapp. Watch Out for the Bus. The Ghost Benefits Our Feet by Betty Wren Wright. Ghost Who Went to School by Judith Spearing. And then the one that was on the cover is Ghost Cat by Beverly Butler. So I was like, you know, why not for a couple of dollars? Get a box set. Like, yeah. And these, I haven't, you know, well, these books have been taken in and out. Probably about, you know, like a kid, you know, has read these. But in general, you know, box sets, you'll preserve your books. But I won't bother with trying to get these in right now. Let's put these aside. Okay, and then the last bookstore I went to was what was it called? It had a new name because it was called the Clackamas Book Exchange. This is the one where it wasn't a library bookstore like the other 3. This was a proper used bookstore, and I think they sold some new books as well. But the owner had just bought the store. She said like last week. But it was the Clackamas Book Exchange, and then now the new name is To Be Read. And so my boyfriend found a bunch of these Fear Street books. And again, I grew up reading the Fear Street, but I didn't ever own them or collect them. I just got them from my school library. So, you know, whole set here. And I don't remember which ones I read as a kid, but I'm sure I read a lot of these. But I really like the covers. It's taking me back to like the 90s. But we have The Sleepwalker. Look at this cover. It says, she isn't safe even in her dreams. Then we have One Evil Summer. Chrissy is perfect. Perfectly evil. And oh, is Chrissy the cat? The New Boy. He was a hunk of trouble. Ski Weekend. It was a perfect setting for murder. The Fire Game. When you're playing with fire, someone is bound to get burned. The Stepsister. When she moved into Emily's room, the terror began. Look at this cover. Look at the stepsister. Like, do you see that face? And she looks like she's plotting something. The Best Friend. Sometimes friendship can be murder. This like takes place at Christmas. It has a red back. The Knife. In this hospital, people are dying. To get out. The Dead Lifeguard. This is a super chiller. No one can save her now. Lights Out. It all happens in the dark. This is a little bit of sticker on it. I can easily peel that off. And this last one here is The Dare. Some girls will do anything for a guy, even kill. So I did some quick math. Don't quote me on the math because I'm not exactly sure, but I think I got 37 or 38 books and I paid $103 total. So that's like $2 or $3, I think, average per book. So not too bad for National Bookstore Day, or Independent Bookstore Day, I think it's called. Yeah, I didn't go to any used bookstores. I mean new bookstores. Like I think I mentioned in my introduction. It's not typically my jam, because almost all of those I can get at my library through my Libby app or through my local libraries. And so I just never spend that much money on books, but I do like spending a little bit and getting a lot of books. That's always the fun thing. And then, I didn't buy this bag. I got this bag. I didn't buy this bag this weekend, but I got this last year at the Portland Book Week. Hopefully they'll do that again. This was, I think, last June. And so I thought it was like a cute little bag when I'm going around all these stores, because all these stores were new to me. They were on my list of bookstores to visit, and they've been on that list since I moved here back in 2020. But I finally made my way over there. There's like, I'm so lucky with so many bookstores, so I just made my way over to these specific locations. But it was lots of fun, and yeah, I can't do a pile because it's we like up to here from where I'm sitting. But yeah, hopefully any of you who participated in the bookstore day had lots of fun, because I know I did. And I try to get some video clips here and there. Some of the stores had lots of people in them, so I didn't feel comfortable filming other people. So I try to get some pictures here and there to make it more vlog style. But I feel like this is really more of a book haul than anything. But yeah, let me know, did you ever grow up reading like the Fear Street or the Sweet Valley, or what, the Apple paperbacks, anything like that? Anyway, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, BookTube.